This is the latest edition of mounts that has come available from Torque Work Centres, and it gives us the ability to mount a random orbital sander onto the Torque Work Centre platform. Now that might seem a little bit unusual, and after all a random orbital sander is very much a finishing tool, and it might be difficult to work out why there is a benefit to actually having it mounted onto a platform such as this. Now if you take the random orbital sander as being a finishing tool, then obviously it is much better just to have it with a very fine grit of sandpaper and for you to move it gently over the surface. But in this case, being able to mount it onto a large platform, we can put a very aggressive cutting grade paper onto it, such as in this case I've added a 40 grit paper, and then this can actually become a surfacing tool. And you can either use it to surface something that's already pretty close, or to step up from the surface cutter then onto this to produce just a slightly better, or to produce a better surface. Now a random orbital sander normally has about 100 mil as its in its diameter. Sometimes they're a little bit larger, but that's a sort of size. So if you've got a surface which has quite an undulation over quite a range or quite a distance, the sander will actually follow that undulation and produce a smooth surface, although not one that's particularly flat. Obviously it will follow the contour of the timber over that sort of range. But when you mount it onto the Torque Work Centre, the tool is going to remain at the same level across the entire range of the Torque Work Centre itself. So now you've effectively got a sander with in this case, a 2.5 metre by 900 mil sized base. It's going to remain parallel over that entire range. So this really does become a surfacing tool in that orientation. So what I'm going to do now is just going to drop the tool down onto the surface, and I'm just going to continue to sand this piece of camphor laurel that I've got here. Now that's just a very quick demonstration, and you may be able to pick up if I still leave the sound on. It's obviously kind of loud. You can actually hear it where it's making significant contact with the timber and really starting to work, and where it's drifting over low spots. Now it's obviously nowhere near as aggressive as using a router with a surfacing bit in it, but there again that may be very preferable too for certain timbers that are very much prone to tear out, or if you've just got that final little bit that you want to take down after the surfacing cut has done its job.